All right, it's time to take a look at the rolling punk king himself, Kamen Rider Punk Jack.
It's morphin' time!
Special shout out to all our channel members, including our Captain Tiers, Infinity Wartorn, Spin-54, Super Shaddix Boom, Toma K, MJ Klein, Infinite 1985, SSJ4 Jason, Oma Ender, Scrublord Gaming, Psycho O's, and Kyle. You can join in the join button down below and find out more details for perks, including early access. Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome to my review of the SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Punk Jack Monster Form Beat Form from Kamen Rider Geats. Currently the last Geats Figuart I'm planning to pick up. He was a Premium Bandai exclusive, but was available on Premium Bandai US and other regions, which was really nice to see. So we got a nice shot of Punk Jack in monster form here, nothing on that side, and then on the back, it's a lot of beat form. He acts as beat form in the Punk Jack special, so they decided to include both beat form and monster form. And because of that, that does mean we have beat form for Geats as well as monster form, for both of them, which is great. And it's nice to see there's some variety, since beat form was only previously available with Nago, who was on the different female body mold. So there's a lot of options. Here is all like the quote-unquote canonical options for the part swapping, but we will do everything possible regardless of the eye colors and the mouth plates, because they don't give you those for every rider, but we still got, Buffa and Tycoon. So we're going to go through all that. We're going to take a look at this guy, and we're going to wrap this out in dramatic fashion. So if you enjoy this type of video, please hit subscribe and the notification bell so you can keep up with future uploads, and hit the like button so this gets out to more people. But let's get on to looking at Kamen Rider Punk Jack's SH Figuarts release. Alright, so here's Kamen Rider Punk Jack. This is absolutely my favorite rider from Geats, 100%. I kind of consider him like the fifth rider. You got the main four, and then there's this guy. He kind of appeared the most. I don't think he was originally intended to be that, but the show developed and he became a really cool character. He originally showed up just as a mute character before getting a personality later, which was not what anybody expected, but I think turned out pretty great. I really like Punk Jack, really did. He had a whole rock and roll vibe to him. He also does have the monster buckle as his primary buckle, the one that is tied to him, so the figure comes packed with the monster armor on. And it's really cool. First things first, here's the buckle. You can see we've got, the good old sleepy monster you awaken to activate the form, plus his ID core there in the center. Of course, like the others, this does remove, which is not too surprising because that's just how the whole line has gone so far. So you got that going on, which is really cool. I think in general, I love the way that it's got the star motif to it. You got the star shoulder pads there, the star chest design. You got kind of like a little bit of eyes and a mouth thing, a little monstery design. And then he's got these big stinking gloves to punch things with. And then he's got hands within them, which is really cool. Back here, he does have the orange cape. This is his unique feature for whatever form he's using, and it's just attached to the backplate piece, so you just replace it on any of the buckles you wish, or any of the armors you wish to use it with, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, we have the head design, which is the repaint. I think it started as the Polar Bear, then it became the Panda Bear, then it became Punk Jack. It kind of got known for being Punk Jack. It's got a nice metallic finish to it, but very jack-o'-lantern styled bear head. One circle eye, one star eye, which is why the stars in the monster armor makes sense to go with them. And you can see the jaw design down there. We will, of course, go over all the form changey stuff later, but it's really interesting how this head splits apart. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than that, he is basically like the same figure as all the other male Geats riders. The legs are essentially the same as like the entry form Geats legs. They are a little different design-wise, but of course you got, your normal range. There's not much to talk about in terms of articulation that we haven't talked about already. He's got, the usual stuff. The shoulder pads are a little restrictive because of the design, but you can get around them pretty good, I think. And then you got nice elbows. The wrists are posable in there. They're just a little harder to pose because of the stuff around them. You, of course, got your neck and your ball joints. So he's got the standard range. But, of course, he does come with some hands specific to the monster form. So let's take a look at those. So you're probably wondering about the hands. Well, that's because you need to split this outer panel shell. Essentially, there you go, like that. Split that in half, and then now you can access the hand. And you'll notice these aren't the same standard fists because they do have little handles in them, and that is the same for all the alternate hand options. They have little handles sculpted in. But that's how you get in there in order to actually remove and swap the hands out. So his default hands are fist. This makes sense because it's kind of a punching, boxing type form, so it makes sense for fist to be the default. The second set of hands are these open, splayed out hands, which look pretty good. His third set of hands are these pointing hands, which I think are really cool. Allows him to point at things, point at the sky, point towards people, pointing. And then he's got these open, flat-palmed hands, which are pretty good, but they do just kind of get in the way of everything. I don't really have like a practical purpose for him because of how the hand design is around him. Now, if that's all he came with, he would be a little bit lackluster of a figure, but luckily he does come with the Beat armor in the box with him, which is appropriate since he used the Beat armor in the Punk Jack special. So we're going to swap this over and see how part swapping goes with Punk Jack. Okay, so here's all the stuff necessary to make Beat form. This is a different mold than the Beat form that came with Nago. And I wanted to show that it is a little bit larger, a little bit thicker because she is on a slimmer body. She's on the female body versus the male body. So that part is different. However, the buckle is practically the same. So if you wanted to give her like 2 buckles for whatever reason, you have that option because look at that. It's the same piece. So you have that, and then I believe the Beat axe is the exact same as well. Yeah, it's the same exact piece. So pretty much the main difference is the torso has been redesigned to fit the larger body molds from how she had it. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the things on Punk Jack we're going to need to do. We're going to take his buckle off. We're going to need to remove the cape, and we're going to need to pop the head from the top joint there, and then split the torso in half. So we'll pull all that off to the side, and then here is the belt. So on the belt, we need to attach the buckle for Beat, which is pretty nice. So that's on there. Before we get too far ahead, here's the head. So with the head, this is a new head design because it's a lot different than the other the heads because it's got the big old like bear head thing going on. So what you need to do is you have to split it in half from here, and then you can see you can swap out the eye plate, and then the eye plate swaps out and the mouth plate swaps out. But before you do the mouth plate, I found it's easier just to take that part off, and then that way you can come in here and just pop the mouth plate. Now, before we get too far ahead, I did want to show that you do get an entry form jaw and eyepiece. So let's look at those, since I don't have the entry form Geats figure or the upcoming entry form blank body. Let's just show what entry form Punk Jack's head would look like. So there you got that. Kind of bland, you know, because it's just gray eyes, but he still retains a lot of his personality. But that's what the entry form head looks like if you want to do an entry form figure, which is not something I'm really interested in. So now we're going to get this thing equipped for Beat form because you do get a Beat form jaw that is specific for Punk Jack. And then, of course, you get the Beat form eyes as well. So you can plug all this together, and there you go. There's your Beat form ready head. So on the Beat form body, all we got to do is pop the back plate, just put it off to the side, pop the cape on here, which will plug right in, pop the head on here. Go like that. There we go. And then we're going to take and line up the belt on the waist and then pop the waist together like this and then make sure it clicks in place and it's in. And there is Beat form Punk Jack. So not only is this a great way to have Beat form armor for the male figures, but the actual Beat form really fits the personality of Hariyama Win quite well. Because Punk Jack himself is a guitarist, so it makes sense for him to have a form with a guitar weapon. It almost makes more sense for him to have this form than Nago, if I'm being honest. She mostly just danced to music. She didn't really play it. So, yeah, it's kind of an interesting sort of mix-up. And I think color scheme-wise, the orange matches this gold a little bit better than Nago stuff. So, kind of weird, but I kind of dig it. I kind of like this form for him in a lot of ways, which I think just looks really nice overall. Now, of course, he does have these open hands, which are nice, but of course, you need to have something to hold that Beat axe, so we do get a couple grips. So unlike with Nago, this is actually a stable grip for him to use it as an axe, like this. You can see it's not really going anywhere because the hand's actually large enough for the handle. What a concept. Yeah, that was my biggest problem with Nago, is that she had trouble holding her weapon like that, and luckily, he is much, much better, which is great to see. And of course, he can hold it like he's playing it like a guitar, which is the way we should do it, because, you know, Punk Jack. I like it. I like it a lot. I prefer this form for him, actually. I actually think I like this one more than the monster form. Even though I love monster form, this just fits the character's personality so much better, and I definitely like it a whole lot if I can just get him to stand. A lot of these Geats Figuarts a little wobbly, but yeah, he's pretty terrific. Now, you can swap this armor to other figures, so let's go ahead and do that. So just like with the other figures, you only get alternate eye and jaw pieces for Geats himself. So we're gonna, of course, swap those over. It is just unfortunate that they don't, I don't know, There was like a slight lack of planning that like the jaws and the eyepieces weren't universal for these figures, because it would have been really nice to have seen everything being cross-compatible, like regardless of who it is, not just like, oh, everything's compatible with just Geats. Like, I get that he's the star of the star of the stars, but, you know, come on. It would be nice to see. So we got, you know, alternate pieces here. Now, of note, there is only one backplate included right here. You only get one backplate. I don't know if that'd be an issue for anybody, but you only get one backplate because the other backplate is, you know, Punk Jack's thing. I always forget to remove the little, like, thing, the little thingy that goes with the scarf. I always forget to remove that off Magnum. We're doing it this time. We're doing it right. But yeah, we're going to get the head popped off here. And yeah, the other thing that's interesting is the thing that's always interesting with these two is the fact that, like, the back of the helmet technically doesn't change with Geats, so like it matches perfectly here, but then like it looks out of place because it's just randomly white when everything else is a different color, but that's just kind of how it goes. We can put that there. Let's get the eyepiece in place. Let's get the eyepiece out of here. Overall, I mean, the part swap system is effective. You know, it is effective. At the very least, the heads for Geats will always be accurate, and that's nice to see. Personally, would have liked to see everybody's heads be accurate, not just Mr. Main Character, but that's just how it goes. It would have been, you know, I don't know if it would have been easier to do full-on swapping heads or something, but it would have been nice just to, you know, do something like that. All right, anyways, so here we go. We got Geats Monster. Now, something we could do is just slap the boost legs on him, right? Which we still can. But these Punk Jack legs are pretty, like, blank. I kind of, like, want to see what Geats looks like with normal legs, because the others, you couldn't really do that, because he had, they have, like, the little, like, scarf thing for, you know, Tycoon, and Buffalo's got a skirt. That actually looks pretty cool. I like that. So if we want just, like, base Geats Monster, there we go. Basic Geats Monster. All right, let's put together beat form for Geats here. So we've got, you know, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, we've gone over this a few times at this point. I'm not going to go over this for all the riders, but I am going to swap these armors around to everybody. We're going to do a little montage. It'd be kind of fun. We haven't done a little montage in a bit. Kind of forgot the scarf. So, you know, it's kind of neat to do this. It is, yeah, it is very Geats-centric. You know, like, Geats is really the only one that can do everything properly. But, you know, you can still kind of cheat it, and we're going to cheat it. We're going to cheat it for all the possible little forms we got out of the box with this set. The ones we haven't showcased in previous videos, because I don't really want to redo some of the ones we've done. Just feels redundant. We're going to stick with the regular legs here, just for the heck of it. But there we go. There we got beat form on Geats. So Geats beats, and he can hold the axe, because, you know, he's got a hand for that, which we'll pose him in a moment. But yeah, there's beat form Geats, all set up, all looking cool. I actually really like the way that looks. Yeah, beat form's just really cool. And for fun, here is the Nago beat form and the Punk Jack beat form, so you can kind of see little differences between them and the different scales and stuff. It's really interesting. This is the only buckle that we've doubled up on the male and female bodies so far, and it doesn't seem like they're really doing any others, even though it would be nice to see. But at least we got one in both sizes, which is cool. But yeah, there you go, double beat form. All right, so here's Punk Jack with the other main Geats riders, and this is essentially the collection I plan to have. I'm, at the moment, not buying anybody else from Geats, but I really like having these 5. They look really nice together. They look really great together. They have distinctive personalities and flavors, which is really cool to see. But of course, we can take the armors of Punk Jack. We can take the armors of Buffa and Geats and Tycoon, but not Naga, because it's a different system. And we're going to swap parts to get, you know, Punk Jack's armors on these guys, and then all these guys with Punk Jack's armor. So we're just going to swap them around. We're going to do a little montage, a posing montage, if you will, of just different forms that are possible with this figure. Not exactly every form, but just the way we can swap parts together, regardless if they have all the accurate details or not. Geats Monster Form. Geats Monster Boost Form. Geats Beat Form. Geats Beat Boost Form. Tycoon Monster Form. Tycoon Beat Form. Buffa Monster Form. Buffa Beat Form. Punk Jack Magnum Form. Punk Jack Magnum Boost Form. Punk Jack Zombie Form. Punk Jack Zombie Boost Form. Punk Jack Ninja Form. Punk Jack Ninja Boost Form. So Punk Jack is pretty cool, but I'm biased, he's my favorite Geats writer. I do think he's a great figure. He does feel a little weird when you just look at monster form. You're like, oh, he's just a guy with hands. But I'm glad they included beat form. That being said, he was more expensive than the others because he includes 2 torsos, so take it as you will. But overall, if you are looking for this guy, I do think he is worth it if you do want Punk Jack. But hopefully my review gave you enough detail. Like I said, I haven't picked up any Geats writers since this, and I'm planning not to, I don't think. So this is kind of like the last Geats Figuart review on the channel for the time being, for the foreseeable future. But if you want to enjoy other videos from other things, please hit subscribe and the notification bell. Also the like button while you're down there, and leave a comment and tell me what you think of Punk Jack and the other Geats writers. Also, if you'd like to help support the channel directly, consider joining as a channel member for as little as $1 a month, and there are perks like early access on some of the tiers, so check out the details in the join button down below. You can also find us live on this YouTube channel Mondays at 5 p.m. Eastern. We're talking about Kamen Rider news, Figuarts news, all kinds of cool stuff, so you want to check it out. Also, check out our Discord server in the link below, where you can come and join the discussions on Figuarts and figures and all kinds of good stuff. Plus, if you'd like, you can find me on social media at Soundout12. You can find my awesome graphic designer on social media and Discord at DarkClaw643, and you can find Hero Club at hero-club.com for tokusatsu news, interviews, and more. And until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.